and today we got the Shocker with the mage. So we'll just jump right into it. So the skills we're using for this, and the idea being that we would shock everything as much as possible with everything that we do, is going to be lightning based everything. So our 5 skills will be lightning blast on the lightning blast tree. Every time lightning blast is used, you have a 30% chance to gain 15 ward, which isn't a big deal, but it's the 100% chance to do a strike of lightning wherever it's hit. And then also we did the first hit damage. So these are the nodes we took up here. You have a chance to chain to 3 additional enemies. Your first hit does 72% more damage, and then your first hit does another 12% damage and minus 3 mana cost, because when this is used, even if it's procced from another source, it still costs mana, and you don't want it to drain all of it. Then we have Flame Ward. In Flame Ward, we went for basically as much ward as you can get, but you do not want to take the no longer retaliates node, so stay away from that. And then down to the left, we're going all the way over to the Lightning Ward, which is actually pretty cool. It makes the ward around you, instead of like a fire aura, it looks like a lightning aura. And when you retaliate, um, it's all lightning damage, which is what we're based in, so it's actually a pretty good hit. And then on top of that, this changes your freeze chance to critical multiplier. So once we put our 4th point in here, it's actually a 300% increase to critical multiplier. So it's a pretty big critical strike hit. It doesn't happen super often. We also put points into retaliation chance, so when this is active, you have a 30%, no, 20% chance to do a retaliatory strike, and then another 20% chance here. You can put another 10 in there to have it 50-50. Third one is Elemental Nova, which isn't really Elemental Nova. We're just going to call it Lightning Nova. All we do is lightning with it. We took the whole right side. 2 big things with this. You don't have to take it, but we took the channeling because it just does attacks much faster. We took as much area as you can get. We're not worried about the critical strike. And then we took this middle branch all the way across, which has some interesting things. So number 1 being that every time you hit with an Elemental Nova, there's a 100% chance to attach a Spark Charge, which is another lightning hit 0.7 seconds um, after the Elemental Nova hit. So when you sit there and do 5 hits a second with Elemental Nova, you're getting another 5 sparks a second, which also do a little bit more hit, or it makes Elemental Nova hit 25% harder as well. And then we have overcharge chance, which is 40%. Every time you do an overcharge hit, there's a plus 200% shock chance. So, I mean, that's 2 stacks of shock right there off the bat, and the area is 75% bigger. This happens, as it says, 2/5 of the time, 40%. And then in the final one, you have shock effect, which we have 240% increased shock effect. Then we have teleport. The only thing we use teleport for is for casting Elemental Nova 3 times every time we teleport, and for decoys. We also put into a little bit of cold protections and armor. You could put into ward gained. You could put into more dummies, or have the duration of your decoys longer. But this is how we have it set up right here. And then we have Static Strike. And Static Strike, we actually, it's not even Static Strike, it's just static. To the right side, we took the Zap, and then if you go even farther, we took the Overload, or the Unlimited Power, which changes your Overload into a Lightning Blast. So it actually casts Lightning Blast for you every time you have a certain amount of charges. I think you have to get like 5 over 80, and it'll do it once every second. Yeah, so every second you have a lightning blast basically going off, and this lets you hit multiple enemies. So Zap will actually lightning blast up to 5 enemies around you, and it's a little bit cheaper due to this. It also gives you a base crit chance. I don't know if that base crit chance helps lightning blast crit. I do know that we have super high crit chance overall, so we crit a lot of hits with everything we do, more than 50%. We also went up above and we took the additional spell lightning damage, because that seems to help a bit. And then obviously we put the full 5 points into gaining charges when hit, so that we can gain them as fast as possible to make sure we stay above 80. For gear, this is going to look a little weird because this character was created in alpha, so it's kind of bugged. We're not able to get the corners for the idols. Our quest has actually been failed, which I didn't know you could fail a quest, but it won't let us redo it. So we aren't currently, we don't have all the best idols, but what we do have is this 40% increased lightning damage, doubled if you have over 300 max mana. If you can get 4 of those, that's obviously a lot of lightning damage if you can get more than 300 mana. We also have a 14% chance to cast Fire Aura on critical strikes, and we critical strike all the time, so haven't really been paying too much attention. We just put this on. The other thing you can get is the 1x4 tall ones give you more shock chance on hit. 4 of those would be awesome. That's more shock stacks you'd put on, and it also gives plus spell lightning damage. So a couple of these would also help very well. The rest of these I think that we have are just random ones we threw in, so you can kind of mix and match, do whatever you want. Yeah, we have a lot of damage over time, which is pretty pointless. I think we're going for the protections. And then on our gear, not 100% optimized, but basically anything that gives you lightning or shock is basically what we went for. So on our weapon, we have elemental damage because lightning's counting that. We should have went with spell chance, but this is just the one that we had. We have increased lightning damage, 88% increased shock effect. On our helm, absolutely nothing on this that you can really use, just some increased health, some intelligence. We have elemental damage on the amulet. A better one would not have the damage leeches health on hit. You would put lightning damage on it. On our catalyst, we have spell damage, lightning damage, and 5% base spell critical strike chance, so that's pretty huge. You could run a two-hander with this if you wanted. You wouldn't crit as much, but you could do it. Our chest piece is just straight up health. Our belt, just glancing blow. Our rings do have spell and lightning damage and armor protections while channeling. That helps because we didn't level up the skill rebuke. So when you need mana, it's pretty slow going and you're in it for quite a while. And you use it decently often against one-on-one bosses. Just going through the map, you don't usually run out of mana. You just teleport around and it kills everything. But one-on-one are super rare enemies that have lots of health. And you actually have to do channeling with Elemental Nova. You run out of mana really fast. Gloves is just more glancing blow. Same with the boots, and then on our relic, we have more lightning damage. Those are all our items. And then for passives, basically anything with lightning is what you want to do. Some of the big ones, right in the first tree, make sure you put the 5 points in Arcane Current. Every 10 seconds when you hit an enemy with a lightning ability, you cast Arcane Lightning at up to 5 other enemies around. So every 10 seconds when you randomly Lightning Blast with Zap, this will hit 5 other enemies with Arcane Lightning, and it's pretty cool. It's just lightning freaking everywhere. Then we obviously took the elemental damage and elemental penetration up above. With 2 points, just because we needed it to get up above, and it was a better choice than any of the others, we went with 2 points, and every 3 seconds your next spell deals 40% increased damage. We did put 20 points into Spellblade. That's required in order to get static. Obviously, there's not a whole lot of good choices in this one, but you can get some elemental protection and elemental damage. Besides that, everything's pretty much melee. So we put 2 points into melee attacks. We don't do them. And then the only one that's not melee in the tree besides that is the Global Might, which adds vitality and cold protection. And that's your 20 points. That'll get you your static skill. And 66 points into Sorcerer. Basically, again, anything with lightning. There's only 2 really big things on here that you need. Since we're always running Flame Ward, you don't really need Leech Life because if your life's hit, you're probably dead. You're basically always having ward protection. But in this, we did take the increased lightning damage with the 16% chance to shock on hit. And then we also did the 200 lightning penetration with the 1% of lightning damage leeches health. All damage that you do, every last bit of it is all lightning in this. So you might as well get the 1% leech life for it, just in case maybe you're down in health or you got hit really hard. You'll fill back up pretty quick. And then we have 80% increased critical strike chance. This is doubled for lightning skills. So since everything we do is lightning, that's actually 160%. We also took the 160% critical strike chance down at the bottom. So you actually get 320% critical strike chance for lightning skills, which is everything we do. So we crit quite a bit. You get 50% critical strike multiplier. We did not take the distance spark. As we level up, you could have another 30% chance to cast another spark nova when you hit from a good distance away. We can't target nova, and teleport is obviously hitting where it's at. So unless your chain lightning zaps more than 4 meters away, this one's pretty useless. The biggest one though is this arcane current. 8 points in this, and you get 400% increased effective shock. 1 stack of shock takes away 100 elemental protection. So to have a 400% increase, that means that every stack that you put on is actually doing 500 elemental resistance reduction, which is huge. And we do, between all the skills and everything we have all together, we do 2 stacks of shock with every lightning hit. And then we have another 240% shock effect on Nova. So it's actually doing quite a bit of elemental resistance deduction every hit. You don't really notice it too much in the actual battles, but with that, we'll go ahead and just run through this map real quick and just show you kind of the playstyle. You can play it however you want. We tend to just teleport around and kill everything until we get to the boss. Its single target damage is pretty much crap, so it takes a while to actually battle bosses and kill them. So clearing map overall speed is not super fast, but for the rest of it, it goes pretty smooth. Yeah, and as you can see, we have lightning sparking everywhere. The more you run, the more charges you get, so it just keeps doing lightning. You can tell that our flame aura around us is a lightning aura. It's pretty cool looking. And then as you can see, we clear up trash mobs pretty easy. It's the actual boss and rares that take forever to kill. Again, there's a couple of pieces that aren't 100%, optimized, so you can get some more lightning damage. Obviously, we have some idle slots we're missing. You get even more lightning damage. If we got to 300 mana, it would double the lightning damage on some of the idols. So you can get even more damage out of this. But yeah, that's the run with it.